We'll be waiting for 2-3 minutes so that everyone can join. Else I will start the session.
Vertical, horizontal.
Excuse me, Zaid Alam, can you please unmute your video, mute your audio? Okay. Good afternoon, students. So this is welcome to the first session of the PPS, the Programming for Problem Solving. I hope till now you are familiar with the subject as you have attended the lectures. And I am hoping that no one is going to leave the meeting till the end of the session. The students who have joined from the first are not allowed to leave their session until the end. So please don't think that your attendance would be count based on your joinees. So I'm Professor Astha Masrani. I would be taking your lab sessions of PPS till the end of the semester. So starting in the today's session, we are going to go through the brief introduction about the subject and the list of practicals and how the submissions of the practicals would be going on, and the basic introduction about the computer programming, and we'll be seeing basic videos for the introduction of how the CPU works. if this would be your first lab in the physical lab, then I would be showing you the basics. Matlab, I would be showing you the CPU, the physical CPU, and what it have inside it and how it works. But that is not visible. So we'll be going through the videos. I will be sharing the video link in the chat, and I need the discussive lab every time, not just this time, but every time. I need your participations, and I hope that you all will participate. And lastly, we'll go through the basic structure of C programming. In the first lab, we won't be going through the programmings, but we'll go through the basic structure of it, and we'll start with a simple program that would be the first program of Hello World. Till now, if you have any doubt or you want to ask something, you can write it into the chat box and I will answer it. Anyone? So now I'm sharing my screen. We'll be seeing the list of the practicals in your syllabus and how the flow will be going on in the entire semester. I hope you all are present. I would be asking any one of you to say that till now what's going on in the session. So please remain present. Is my screen visible to all? Okay. So this is your list of practicals in your syllabus. It is starting from the arithmetic operators. So right now you haven't reached till that portion, and this first lab is always of the introduction. So this is your first lab. So we'll be starting with the introduction, but I'm going to show you the list of your practicals. The first program is about arithmetic operators, and the next are of the simple calculations that are done through the arithmetic operators. The next is from the ninth program. We'll be having about the conditions and the loop statements, and the further will give you how it works. That string functions will be coming and everything that we'll learn. The patterns from the 29th program will be having the patterns. So basically the flow will be in every lab. I will cover 5 to 6 programs that will be implemented by you. And during the submission time, I would need that implemented programs in the handwritten pages. Yeah, you can use pages also, or else you can use into book also, but you need to scan those programs and upload to the Google Classroom. I will create the Google Classroom of your where you need to regularly upload your programs. For example, if in the first lab I'm implementing, we'll be practicing 5 programs, then till the next date or till the next lab session or the deadline given to you, you need to upload those 5 programs, handwritten programs PDF to your Google Classroom. I will provide the assignment as an assignment and will provide you the deadlines. I won't accept any of the programs after those deadlines. So be careful about the deadlines. Deadlines are most important. Why we are going through the handwritten process? Cause in your exams, you will have to write the programs. So to make you practice, we'll be doing both the things. We'll be implementing the programs and we'll be writing it too, so that in exams you can perform well. As you are GTU students, you need to give your exams handwritten, and they are asking programs in the handwritten. So we are practicing the handwritten process. So that's it from my side. Now, anyone is having any question about the submission process, then you are free to ask me anytime. Students, I need everyone's participation. Everyone is clear about the process of submissions? Okay, cool. Now, as I said you that we'll be going through the basics of the computer and the CPU, how it works, how it's going. That's really excited that how inside it works. So I'm sharing the link in the chat. Please check it out. These are small, short and simple video. Once you watch it out, just ping in the chat box. We'll be starting discussions over it. And while watching the video, I would ask anyone that what you have understood from this video. So better anyone don't leave this session, and requested all of your participations. I'm pasting the link of the video into the chat box. Please watch it out, and then we'll be discussing over it. Once you are done with the watching of video, please let me know. And if you are comfortable with watching over here, means in my screen, then you can also.
Okay, students, have you watched the video? Completed watching the video? Everyone? Students? Okay. So, what did you understand or what did you find interesting in this video? You can unmute yourself and answer me that what did you find interesting in this video? Expected answer, Priyanka Mehta. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. What did you understood from this video? Should I ask anyone randomly or? Okay. Kinjal, can you unmute yourself and answer me what did you understood in this video? Kinjal, are you present? Kinjal? Okay, Kinjal, then type it in the chat box. What did you understand? I'm waiting. Sorry. Okay, it's fine. Anyone else want to answer it? Okay. This video was all about the
Parts what are in the CPU cache, the thing the in the desktop, what we are observing. This what we see the cache, we call it as CPU, but that is not the CPU. This big is not the CPU. CPU is just a small chip. That's the processor, which processes the instructions coming to it. The CPU, this is the cache that consists of CPU and all other devices, all other parts which are interrelated to each other. Once the instruction is given to the CPU, it will process the instruction and give it to the part, the which of the part that instruction needs to process. So once the instruction is being given to that part, for example, I will be saying that I want to run a game as shown in this video. We have seen that the code is there, then it suddenly changes to the game, and and you will be playing the game, and they have shown that how the game works using the graphics card. So for making it a little bit simple, I'm giving you a simple example, then we'll relate it to graphic cards or the memory or anything. So I will be double clicking on the game. So that double click done by me is the instruction I'm providing to my processor that I want to load this game, I want to play this game. That is what I am doing by double clicking that game. So now what the processor will do? Processor will give that instruction to the hard disk. Then hard disk will find that game from its storage, as hard disk will store everything within it. It's the permanent storage. Then hard disk will load that game into the RAM, then RAM, then from the RAM your game will be loaded to your screen through the processor. Processor is actually the input and output of everything. It 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 has the set of instructions given by humans to it, then it will provide the output to the humans of that instructions. So processor or your CPU chip is the mediocre for every instructions provided by you to the machine. It will process the instruction and provide you the output. That is the work of processor. But just not only the processor, it will have many more connections to it. It will connect it to the RAM, to each and every part shown in this video. Any doubts, students?
Now are you getting my voice properly? Okay. From where did you get this cracking? Means you didn't understood anything, or I should repeat everything? From where you all want me to repeat? Okay. Everyone got it? Just a second. Give me 2 minutes. I'm coming back.
Sorry for the interruption.
Moving on to the further. So what were the
Yes.
other parts? Whose mic is on? So moving on to other parts, what were the other parts than the CPU?
Anyone?
So the important parts, as explained in the video, the most complex parts, not the complex, but they are complex because they are the processing parts of this computer you are using. So the CPU, the RAM, hard disk or hard drive, and the graphics card. So the RAM is in random access memory.
So once the game, continuing with the same example, once the game is been loaded into the RAM,
We can easily perform the task in the games. Means we can play it, we can push it, and everything once it is loaded into the RAM.
sorry for the bad
Connection, students. I am again sharing my screen. Coming back to the hard drive and the hard disk. Hard disk is the permanent storage. Means when you save your Word document or your picture or your video, that has been stored in the hard drive. The difference between the RAM and the hard disk is RAM is a temporary storage. Once you shut down your PC, its memory will be cleared, but the hard disk is a permanent storage. So whenever your PC is giving you the alert that your memory is full, that is because your hard disk is full. Your game, your simple Word document or a PDF file, your images, videos, and everything is being stored into your hard drive.
Now coming upon to your interesting topic, that is graphic card.
So graphics card is what? It is giving you the high dimensional thing of what has been coded. The program is been converted to something into the zeros and ones of those of the games, and it will provide you the interesting graphics or the 3D view of that. Your views of your games are due to the highest graphic cards. So the gaming persons will choose the Nvidia graphics card, means that is the best graphics card. So the graphics card is the most interesting thing that will means we once we are playing the games like Free Fire, then before it was PUBG and that all, that is the view that is coming, the world, the virtual world they are showing you, that is all due to the graphics. That is called the graphics of a game. So I hope I am clear to this about this video to you. Any doubt in any of the thing, a single point you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. Else we'll be moving further towards the next video, where you will get have actually when you click on any of the when you double click on anything, what instructions are provided and how that instructions are being processed. So everyone is clear about it? students, I hope you aren't sleeping. Okay. I need the participation of everyone, not just 3 or 4 students. Else, I will need to randomly ask to anyone. Please don't make me that rigid. Okay. Now I'm pasting the link of second video into the chat box. Please watch it out. And even I'm in my screen also, you can watch it out. Am I audible now? Students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So going on to this video, as I said before, this video is showing you the how the click event actually works. It's not just a click, it's the multiple instructions that you are providing to the computer. So now you know every parts of that computer that are used in this video. As the introductory portion we have seen already. So from that introductory portion, in this video, each of that parts have been used to explain you that how those parts shown in the previous video work together for processing just one instruction. Are you all getting me? Means any of the one having any query? Students, are you having any query? Okay. Okay. So when you click on something that will be given to the bias of the uh, of the system, then that will prioritize that there is something important event you need to perform. So the instructions will be provided into the to the CPU. Then CPU will say to the RAM that where what the location of the click, what is the memory of what have been clicked. Then it will check the address of that location. Then from that location it will fetch that button's location, like the in this video shown that the what girl has done, the girl has pressed the button to push the game or a video she was seeing. So the address of that button, that instruction to push the video, is to be found out. For to finding that, it goes into the RAM. Then RAM provides the address, then to the CPU, then again CPU processes it to someone else to instruct it, and then the video will be pushed. So the long process, and what we are seeing is just a click that I am clicking and the video has been pushed. So that is the mechanism behind your click event. And you can't just imagine that how much milliseconds or nanoseconds the CPU takes to process the video. So that is the most interesting thing of learning this subject. But the most interesting part comes now, that how I will provide an instruction to the computer. I will use some of the language to provide computer some of the instructions. What do you understand by the language? In the simple meaning, language is the bridge from where I can communicate with you all. Means I'm using my English language right now to communicate with all. That is the English language is the bridge between me to you to communicate. Same way, we need some of the languages to communicate with the computer, the machines actually. So there are multiple languages used for communicating to the computers. In this video, they have shown Java, Python, and C++. Before learning Java, Python, and C++, we need to learn the basic language. The basic language is the C. which is the basic and which we are going to use in this PPS subject to implement the programs, the practicals, or you can say the experiments. There are multiple softwares that have been used for implementing the C language or writing the code into the C language. So mostly in your 12th, 11th, 12th, you have been done the C language and you have implemented its program in the Turbo C. So there are many lots of IDEs, or we can say the platforms for implementing the C language. Some of the platforms I am going to show you here as the option that you can perform the practicals during the lab session over that platform. But I'm going to give you multiple options, but for the convenience, use any one for the whole semester. Don't change every time that not this, because you need to have the practice. So when you change the platform, that practice won't continue. So try use one software as per your convenience, one platform as per your convenience, that from where you want to implement it. So I'm going to show you three platforms where you can perform your practicals. The first is online compiler. That is totally a website where you need to write your code, and it will provide the code output just below it. The next will be CodeBlock. CodeBlock is the IDE you need to install on your system. If you are having your personal system and you want to explore and you wish to install it, you can install it from the site of the CodeBlock. This is the site of the CodeBlock. Just remember, they have already provided the steps to install this. You can install the binary release from the software, from the site itself. You just remember one thing while installing, while downloading the setup, download the fourth setup, that is mingw setup.exe. Just the fourth number of setup, mingw. And these steps of installations are already given below for everything. If you are using Mac, you are using Linux, or you are using Windows. Then the next is Turbo C++, which you might have used previously. These are the steps of Turbo C++ installation, the setup file installation. So if you have any doubts in installing, if you get any query, I'm here. You can ask me. I will help you in your installation. And if you want to use this online compiler, no problem. You can use it. Any queries till now? Any queries, students? Okay. I will be using CodeBlock as I am having the IDE installed in my system. So today we'll learn the basic structure of C programming. That how can you actually type the C program? So here the first step written is hash include stdio.h. For writing any of the C program, you need to include the header file. Is the standard input output library that you need to include as a header file. To include that header file, this hash include this include keyword is used, and hash is for macro. So when you will execute the program, this header file will be written in your program, will be written as the code in your program, and that will allow you to write the code. The persons using Turbo C++ has need to include one more library, that is conio.h, that is the console input output header file, to clear the screen. But in this online compiler, if I'm using it, it will give me the error because it doesn't need it any. In this compiler, you don't need to write this conio.h. This is the integer main. This is your main step. In this main, this is the function. The main is the function. In the function, you are going to write your logic. And I have just written the simple logic, that is printf hello world. What the printf does is, this is standard input output. So printf is an output function where through which you can print your output. So this is your output function, printf hello world, hello world. So what this function will do? This function will print just hello world as an output of yours, as this is printf is an output function. Then you will similarly learn the input functions in the next labs and lectures. Till now, anyone is having any question related to this? Related to the basic structure of it? Students? Dear Priyanka, it's not logistics, it's the logic. Logic of program means the set of instructions that your program is going to process. That is logic. It's logic. Logic means the set of instructions you are giving to the program to perform. Am I audible now, Karnavi? Am I audible now? Yes, you can rejoin, Karnavi, but within a minute, please rejoin. Okay, so students, you need to perform this basic program right now in uh, right now in your systems, if you are having your systems with you, or else you can use it into the mobile. We are having the online C compiler, so you can perform it into the mobile. Whoever is using mobile, they can also perform, and who are having their systems, they can also perform, irrespective to any of the IDEs installed. So perform this experiment. Now I'm I'm stopping the screen share, and even I'm stopping the recording, but I will say anyone to share their screen, that are they performing the program or not. It's just a simple program. If you have any doubt, just ask me. I will answer you. If any error you are getting it, I'm there to answer it. But once, for just once, perform it. Then we'll go to the next program.